Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors video. This week we have a new event which is a stamina consuming event called Halloween Party Invitation. So in this video I will be telling how much stamina do you actually need to get all the relevant rewards from this new event. If you don't know how it works, the way it works is that for every point of stamina that you consume during the event, you will be rewarded with one pumpkin. Uh, for example, the newest event stage requires 80 stamina to enter and clear, and you can see at the bottom left of my screen, I do have 80 pumpkins available for me to spend. With these pumpkins, you can use them to redeem different rewards from the shop. And these rewards include characters, the newest character, Feast of Blood Troy, as well as other Halloween event characters, materials, as well as different items from the game. So what I will be doing is I will be telling how much stamina do you need to get all the relevant rewards from this event. And I say relevant because there are some rules that I'm going to lay down. If we go to the shop, you can see that we have three different tabs. We have an item tab, we have a material tab, and we also have a monster tab. So for my calculations, I am going to be ignoring previous Halloween event monsters. This is because these are pretty old. For example, Dullahan, Toby, Noah, Isabel, Black Cat Rider. They are pretty old and their skills are very situational slash don't really see play. And furthermore, you can only redeem one of them and they are quite expensive at 600 pumpkins per card. And because of that, because you can only get one copy and you need to spend extra resources on them, and most people already have these cards from previous events, I will not be counting them into my stamina calculations. The other thing I will be ignoring is going to be the elemental elements, the medium elemental elements, for example, medium water element, medium fire element, earth, and light. And this is because the purchase limit is 999 at 20 stamina per pop, and basically, you are allowed to spend insane amount of stamina and you will potentially not be able to run the shop dry of these 5 materials. And because of that, I will be excluding them out of my calculations because these are also pretty much not that useful for you as well. They do provide a good chunk of experience, but overall they aren't going to provide you that much utility for the amount of stamina that you need to spend to obtain all of them. So for that reason, these 5 are going to make it out of the calculations. Everything else is going to be free game, and so let's get started with the character page. Because the character page has older characters and the new character. The new character being uh, the main attraction of this event, Feast of Blood Troy. We will be focusing on him on this tab. And you can notice there are two different purchase limits. One is 125 times at 100 pumpkins, and the other one is one time at 500 pumpkins. I will say, just ignore this guy, the 500 one, because you definitely do not need to spend that many pumpkins for him. You can just spend the ones that cost 100 pumpkins, and that should be pretty good. Moving on, Troy is a skill level 15 character, which means that actually, let me pull up my spreadsheet here. Oops, and let me move my display over, which means that he does need about 23,260 accumulated rounds in order to reach max level. What this means is that every time you feed an identical character to itself, you do gain 1,000 accumulated rounds. What this means, it means that you need at least 24 copies of Shroy, 24 copies of Shroy, because you want your original copy as well as the 23 characters you need to feed him to get him to max level. You are going to need 260 more accumulated rounds, but you can get those from baby harpies. So if we need 24 Shroys and we also have them at 100 pumpkins each, how much stamina does that mean? Let me move over here to my calculations, and we can see here we have copies purchased 24 Shroys at 100 pumpkins. That is going to be 2,400 stamina points of required for you to get a uh, max level Shroy. In my opinion, the next best thing to get from the shop is going to be the items. And this is because materials will always come from different events. You can get harpies, you can get baby harpies, you can get the essence soulstones, alpacas, golden moth drakes, madheads from other sources. For example, weekly material events. You can get them from the lottery, and you can also get them from different giveaways as well. However, for items, these are going to be a little bit more special. And if you think about it, a 3-star clearance gives you about 20 orbs. Now you're getting 50 orbs a pop. And in terms of diamond purchases as well, this is pretty good because you can obtain orbs by trading in different monster cards. And normally a non-jackpot card is 5 elemental orbs and a jackpot card is 30 elemental orbs. And keep in mind that this is going to be 5 diamonds per draw, which means that getting 50 orbs of each element is actually a pretty good deal in terms of this event. For Cosmic Cubes right here, right now the only thing that you can exchange them is for power release materials, which honestly is not that bad, but it is equivalent to 50 black keys because you can use 50 black keys to access the power release material stage from the guild black hole. So in my opinion, the next best thing to obtain other than shore is going to be the elemental orbs and then the cosmic cubes. And so if we do that, we can see that for cosmic cubes we have a 5 times purchase limit at 100 each. And for elemental orbs, because we have 5 elements, I'm going to be writing 5. This is 300 each, so the stamina required is going to be 1,500. And in my opinion, if you are running short on time and you don't have that much time to spend on the game, I think this is a good stopping point because any additional pumpkins that you can get whatever you want from this materials page, but whatever you don't get, you're not really missing much because there are other ways for you to obtain these materials in the game, such as giveaways, lotteries, and things like that. So in my opinion, this is a good stopping point, running Shroy clean and then also getting all the elemental orbs. That is going to be pretty good in terms of your mileage. However, if you do want to go for materials, what I recommend is going for the ones at the top first, because harpies, elemental soulstones, and madheads are pretty useful, and golden moth drakes, alpacas, and baby harpies are very common as well. Golden Mothrakes, you can get them from the weekday material stage as well as the weekend material stage. Same with alpacas, and alpacas can also come from the lottery. And baby harpies, you can basically just spam the friend point seal and also get a pretty good amount of them. But in my opinion, I would work my way down from the top and then go to the bottom, but the materials tab is basically a way for you to use up your remaining pumpkins, and I would recommend to just get whatever your account needs. If you need to level up a dark element card, just get the dark soulstone and the dark alpacas, and that will be it. However, if you are very inclined to run the shop dry of all relevant rewards, this is how much stamina you will need. And there we go. And here we have the totals, which I did not hide, uh, but don't mind me. Basically, the total, if you want to run the shop dry of all relevant rewards, is going to be 9,110 stamina points. If you want to stop at just the dual max Shroy and the items, you only need 4,400. However, what does this mean in minutes, right? Because the way Tower of Saviors work is that you recover 1 point of stamina every 8 minutes. So if we do the calculation here, we do have an insane amount of minutes, but that's okay because we can just, in terms of hours, we just divide this by 60. Um, yep, 60. And we divide this by 24 in order to get how many days we need to be able to naturally regenerate the stamina to obtain all these pumpkins. Let me see, I don't want decimal points. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so you can see if you wanna, let's see, all joy plus maths. Yeah, right. So there is, if you can see here, you do need about 50 days in order to naturally regenerate all the stamina you need to obtain every single reward from the shop. If you want to stop at just the items and the character, you'll need 24 days. How much time do we have for this event? We only have 6 days left, right? So in terms of minutes, what does this mean? This is, we have 6 days left. That's 24 times 60. Basically, we have 8,640 minutes, which means the natural stamina regenerated is going to be this divided by 8. And that is going to be pretty much very different from the calculations that we did, right? What this means is that there's no way you can obtain every single reward by just waiting normally for your stamina to regenerate. Right? Which leads us to the next question, is that how many diamonds will you need to use in order to regenerate your entire stamina? And how many diamonds do you need to spend in order to reach this stamina requirement to run the shop dry? So, pretty easy calculation. We just do this minus the natural stamina regenerated, and we get pretty much this much stamina points needed. I don't like this. So, in order for that, how do we equate this to diamonds? So, on average, summoners usually have about 180 stamina points, and this is relevant because the amount of stamina you receive when you spend a diamond to refill your stamina is directly influenced by how much stamina you have at your level. Right now, for example, I myself have 211 points of stamina, but I know newer players have about 100, 120. So just for the sake of calculations, I'm going to say that the average stamina for a normal player is going to be about 180, right? And so if we divide the top number by the stamina requirement, it is going to tell us how many diamonds we are actually going to need to recover all our stamina. And that is going to be an absolute insane amount. You basically need 44 stamina refills at an average stamina of 180 in order to get the every single reward from the shop. And in my opinion, 44 diamonds is not worth getting. It's definitely not worth using in order to get certain materials here. You do need 18 diamonds for to run the shop dry, and honestly that is still a very steep cost because 18 diamonds is actually 3 different pulls, and honestly it's not, it is very expensive in my opinion. So in conclusion, right, you oops uh, in conclusion, the amount of stamina you need is very high for the event, and the amount of stamina refills that you need to do costs a lot of diamonds that in my opinion I don't think it's worth. I do think it's worth getting the orbs, and I do think it's worth getting the Casma cubes. In terms of the materials, I honestly would not really bother with them because there are other ways to get them. So just put your effort in the orbs and in the new character. Tips for you to save in terms of stamina consumption so that you don't need to get or spend all these diamonds. That definitely use the stamina refills that Madhead gives us for free. If you do the weekday material collection, you get a 50-point stamina potion, which can also be used towards this goal. The other thing is that I personally don't think that Shoy has that good of an active skill. So in my opinion, this might be a hot take, but I do not think you need to bring him to a skill level max. And even then, you can use Harpies in order to bring him to skill level max if you really want to. But if we basically get rid of this, if we make this just 100, one copy, wait, this should be, this should be this. Basically, that just means that you only need to do a 5, you only need to refill your stamina 5 times. And if you have a higher stamina consumption, like for example, for me, it's 200, and that's still like 5 times. But basically, I do think 5 diamonds of stamina refill is more reasonable in terms of getting all these rewards, but you can also use stamina refills that Madhit gives you in order to reach this goal. So, tips for you to save on stamina, like I said, use the free stamina that Madhit gives you. You also don't need to get Shroy to dual max, which means you can save on some stamina. I feel like Cosmic Cubes right now don't really have much use because power release materials you can just get with black keys, and Madness is actually quite generous with black keys in terms of like the personal missions as well as the lottery plus different events. So honestly, Cosmic Cubes right now don't have much use. But if they do decide to release a Cosmic Cube exclusive, then it is kind of nice to have. In terms of orbs, they are very nice to have, especially given the circumstances in which you obtain them in other means. For example, using 5 diamonds to pull a card. Uh, Basically, the 5 diamonds you use to pull a single card can net you only 5 elemental orbs depending on the card that you get. At most, you can get 30 elemental orbs if you get a jackpot card. But if you're decomposing a jackpot card for orbs, I feel like diamonds is not really an issue for you. So in terms of orbs, I do think these are the most valuable because they do give you more bang for your buck. And in terms of Shroy, you don't really need to bring him to dual max, so you don't need to bring him all the way up and you don't need to spend that much stamina. However, if you do want to run the entire shop dry, then be my guest. It is a lot of stamina refills that I do not recommend because it is a lot of diamonds and you could be using those diamonds for the next collaboration event or the next black gold card and things like that. So yeah, um, basically, in conclusion, I'd say get one copy of Shroy, get all the elemental orbs, get the cosmic cubes, and any remaining pumpkins that you have, either funnel them into more copies of Shroy so that you can level up his skill, or go into the materials tab and get whatever you need. In my opinion, it's not worth running the shop dry, and it is better to save your resources for other events, for example, other collaborations and other black gold cards and things like that. But yeah, so that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you like this style of videos and if there's anything I could do to improve. I normally post videos on YouTube, uh, more Tower Saviors content such as clear videos, card guides, um, GNM reviews, etc. So make sure you keep an eye out for those videos on my channel. For now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!